2, 1. Welcome to.
Welcome.
What are you doing? My breath stinks.
Does it?
I just had a sweet and all I can smell is like bad breath. So if that reflects in your face, please don't say anything. And welcome to the Char and La Show.
Are you keeping that bit in?
What bit?
The bit we just did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's fine. Hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Oh, just let's ignore that bit of dodgy
Welcome to
noise.
Podcast Part 2. And today's episode is...
Motherhood. So today we're going to talk about motherhood, which obviously is a very vast, massive subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we're just going to sort of discuss our experiences so far with motherhood. Obviously, I've had quite a lot of experience now. Charlie obviously hasn't had as much. But yeah, we're just going to talk about it and go from there, really. And then, you know, people can comment underneath afterwards things. But I hope that you enjoy listening to it and that you find it very interesting.
Yeah.
About everything to do with us, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So I became a mum 9 months ago. Like officially a mum. Obviously they were born like 9 months ago. And yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. Is that Well, that's going to be a really long podcast, isn't it? That was it. That was Charlie's summary about motherhood.
Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
End. Right, so no, we need to talk properly. So, motherhood, it can be good, it can be bad. Obviously, it's very trying at times.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, I've been a mum now for quite a lot of years. Got Finn, who's now nearly 24. And then I had Charlie 22 months later. She's going to be 22 soon. And then I had Callum 3.5 years later.
Well, how old was you when you had Finn? And how old was you?
Oh, yeah. So I was 24, but I was going to be 25 in October. But I was 24 when I had Finn. And then I was 26 when I had Charlie. So I had Charlie in the June. So I was 26. And then I had Callum when I was 30. Now, that was already a big difference for me because obviously I had the first two when I was in my younger 20s and then went on to have Callum in my 30s. Well, actually, the funny story about this is that my 30th birthday was my 20-week scan. And I actually found out I was having a boy on my 30th birthday.
Really?
Yeah. What, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
You never told me that.
So it was my birthday and Dad said to me, oh, you go to the 20-week scan then and take your mum because that'll be nice for Nan to come. So Dad didn't come for the 20-week scan. He stayed at home with you and Finn. And I went on my birthday with Nan and I found out I was having a boy and I named him there and then because I knew I wanted the name Callum. So he got named on that day.
We named the girls there and then, didn't we?
Yeah. So he got named Callum. And then I went out with my friends that night because it was my 30th and obviously I couldn't drink or anything. So I went to this Chinese restaurant and I had like couple friends. So like they were school friends. So there was about 5 other couples. And I was like, oh, everyone, I'm just going to announce now what I'm having. And I said, oh, I'm having a boy. And then 2 of my friends went, yeah, we guessed that.
What?
Yeah, they were like that about it. I was like, oh, okay.
That would annoy me.
Yeah, I was a bit like, okay, but it's still exciting. I know I've already got a boy and a girl already, but it was like, okay.
If my friend said that, I'd be well annoyed.
So yeah, so that was it. So that was the ages that I had the children at, and yeah, I think that was good ages. But obviously, that's a different sort of subject because that could cause a lot of controversy over.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was 20
obviously
when I had the girls.
ages to have children because I know that a lot of people want to settle down or buy a house before they decide to have children.
Everyone does things different ways. Like, a lot of people want to get married before they have children.
Some people want a career, like some people want careers. Some people can't have babies, so they have to go down the IVF road.
Yeah.
So there's never a right time to have a baby, I don't think. I think it's personal choice, and I do really believe that it is personal choice.
Yeah, I think
My
that as well.
personal feeling is that it's better to have them younger. One, because you've got more energy yourself. Two, I think you handle pregnancy better when you're young. Your body can cope with a baby in your belly better. And thirdly, hopefully you've still got your mum and dad around. So nans and granddads get to have that wonderful time spent with them, and lots of memories can be created. But I know
and they can help as well.
Yeah, they can help as well. I just think it's nice. But obviously, some people don't get that choice or that chance. They don't meet their partner till later on in life. And me and Charlie have been both lucky there because we met our partners at a young age.
Yeah, very lucky. Because I met Reese when I was 17, and then we got together when we were 18. So
yeah, and I met Grandad. I met Grandad when I was born. I met Dad. It's because he's Grandad B now. Well, he's not even Grandad B, he's just Grandad. But I met Dad, obviously, when I was 19. So
that's so funny, though, that you met Dad like a year after, like, I know, me and Reese met like a year before you and Dad.
Yeah, and Maisie and Finn met when they were 19.
That's funny.
Yeah. So it's funny how we've all, and like Nan and Grandad met when they were 15, and like Daddy's mum met when they were 19.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's like we've all stayed in these like long-term
relationships. And then grown up
relationships.
together as well, and seen each other grow, which is really nice.
Because I brought some photos around today to show like of Charlie and Finn and that. And I'm not mentioning Callum there because there isn't many photos of Callum because they're on my Facebook. Because obviously by the time Callum was born, everything was more on social media and you put it onto your thing rather than take photos in on a camera. So it always looks like I don't have many of Callum. But if you go on my Facebook, you'll see loads on my actual album.
That we should talk about, though, also, like, what is, like, one of the biggest struggles when you're a mum?
Well, yeah, we are.
Yeah, but
we're covering the whole range of motherhood.
Yeah, but I was going to say one.
Go on then.
Well, I think when you're ill, and then you still have to be a mum when you're ill.
Oh, we're jumping right into this now.
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie's obviously just like really wants to jump into that.
Yeah, I just want to jump right into the deep end now.
Right,
and
okay.
I think just when you're ill and you have to be a mum still, like, that's the hardest part of being a mum. I feel like that's been the only time where I've really like struggled to be a mum is when I've been poorly. Yeah. Because you just still have to just get on with it.
Yeah, you do. I remember having laryngitis really badly once, and I remember just like literally being able to drag you lot up to school quick, dropped you home, and then just laid in the bed all day until I had to come and get you again. And then when I had to get you, I was just so ill, and I remember you all just playing around me, and I couldn't literally do anything. It was horrible.
Yeah,
that was the worst. That was the one time I was so ill. That wasn't
Yeah, but
nice.
do you remember when I just had the girls, like, and I was really ill, and I literally could hardly move off that sofa?
I know. What was that?
I can't remember.
Was it tonsillitis or something? It was like tonsillitis.
I think I had a really chesty cough though as well.
Yeah, like
I really can't remember.
Chest infection.
But I just remember feeling really ill, and I was really hot and sweaty, and I just laid on the sofa all day, and it was really. But then also when Reese was at work, I started to be a mum, and it was just really hard.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like no one ever prepares you for that.
No.
Like, I was never prepared to be ill and be a mum at the same time. Because obviously normally when I was ill, I could just relax. But the girls were literally so young. I think they were only like a few weeks old. And that was hard.
Yeah, it's really hard when you're ill with children. It is. It's the worst thing, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah, no one prepares you. No one ever prepares you for that.
No.
And it is hard. That is the hard. Like, that's the one time where I've really struggled to be a mum is when I was ill.
Yeah. Yeah, it isn't good, is it?
No.
So you do start to appreciate your health a bit more, don't you?
Definitely.
When you're a mum, you sort of pray that you're not going to be ill.
Yeah, I literally pray I'm not going to get... I literally get a bit scared that I am going to get ill because of how difficult it is being a mum and being ill. So I literally now I just like pray, like, please don't let me
It's all right if you've got your partner around, but like you say, if they're not...
Yeah, like when Reese works in the week.
Yeah, well, I was the same with Dad, wasn't I? Dad used to work away a lot.
Yeah.
we had quite similar there, didn't we? So like bringing up our children has been quite similar like that.
Yeah.
I felt like I brought you three up quite a lot on my own, which sounds awful to Dad, but it wasn't his fault. But like sometimes Dad would go away on a Monday and he wouldn't come back till like Thursday.
Yeah, but I feel like with Dad working away was worse for you though, because like obviously Reece only works away like once or twice a week, whereas Dad sometimes, I remember when I was younger, like Dad sometimes I wouldn't even see him for like a whole week.
Like he literally would be gone Monday to Friday.
Sometimes even longer.
Yeah,
there'd been times where it was longer.
He's done a whole week.
Yeah,
it was. So, do I say Ian? Well, I suppose I say Ian. It's Dad, isn't it? Dad works, so like when he did his call outs and things like that, he worked away. So that was really tough. I've had to have that ever since. So I'm just thinking when Dad first got. So Dad started doing like nights away when Callum was born. So he started that job when Callum was born. And that's when he started that. So you think I had like a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old and a newborn.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's
and
really
I had
hard.
to do all of it on my own all week sometimes. And yeah, it was really tough. And like I say, if you added in being ill, then oh my God. Don't get me wrong, I did have the help of obviously Nan and Grandad around.
Yeah.
But I'm very independent, as we know, and I wanted to do most of it on my own. So I didn't used to ask for a lot of help. But it was, they were hard time. You can see why I used to put you to bed by 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'd had enough.
That's so early, isn't it? 5:30.
Yeah, I'd had enough by then. And also, guys,
What time would we wake up and go to bed at 5:30?
5:30 the next morning. You'd always do 12 hours. So yeah, always. Well, when I say this, you weren't good when you were really young.
Well, the
but by
girls do
this time
12 hours, don't they?
by this time you were like 5 and 3, so you were sleeping through the night. Like, you weren't sleeping through the night when you were newborns for, like, ages.
Really?
No, you were terrible. But by that age, you were. So you would do, like, 12 hours.
Do you think
Callum
most
was a good
children...
sleeper.
Do you think most children sleep through for 12 hours?
I think that is what... If you look up the recommendations of what children do of that age, it normally does say about 12 hours sleep.
Yeah, because the girls always have 12 hours.
And then when you become, like, our ages, you have to have 8. Why do we have to have less? Why can't we sleep?
Yeah, why can't we have 12
That's why
hours?
they say sleeping like babies, don't they? Because babies are meant to have this amazing 12 hours sleep. So that's where that sort of saying comes from. But yeah, so like doing that, but big up to obviously single mums because
I know. Like
so many of them around.
We're like saying about like our
I
partners
know, like,
going
oh,
to
look
work
at me,
away.
I had to do that for a week
but
on my
single,
own.
honestly, I have the biggest respect for single mums. Like, genuinely, I'm like, how do you do that?
I know.
Like, how do you do that?
I
like,
know,
it's
exactly.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Like, that is a real
amazing.
talent to be able to be a single full-time mum, like, on your own, like that.
Yeah.
That just, it deserves a reward, really.
It does deserve it. Or like the ones who have like army wives and their husbands go away like in the army and they go away for like months on end. Honestly, big up to the mums who have to do that.
I know.
And also, not only that, they've got the worry of like their partners being away at war or whatever they're doing. And, you know, you've got all those extra worries on your hands. Or like, say if you're a single mum, you may have problems with your ex or you may be having problems there. So you've got loads of extra stresses. Plus, you're also having to try and bring up your children and be happy for them and positive. So it's got to be really difficult, hasn't it?
Very
really?
difficult. I can't even imagine.
No, I know. So go. But anyways, we're going to do a little fun thing, and because people had asked us to show some photos of like Charlie and that when she was young, we're not going to show all of them because it's going to be a bit hard just showing them on the camera like this anyway. But they just wanted to see some photos, so I would have said in this photo you probably were about the same age as the girls.
I look a bit like Eliza.
Yeah. So in this photo, I would say that Charlie was about. Look at that with the hair like that.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we can see it. I think we could see it. Yeah, look, like that. Look at that. But yeah, look at the hair. It's starting to be like Eliza's now, isn't it?
Yeah, Eliza's is starting to be like that.
So that was Charlie. Look at that. That's such a cute little outfit you had on as well.
I'm not joking though. I feel like I really look like Eliza in that.
Yeah.
Like that really looks like Eliza.
Look at her there, guys. Look at those blue eyes. Like, Charlie does have the most lovely blue eyes. Charlie, look at your blue eyes in that.
Wow.
They're really
I'm sorry,
blue.
but that is Eliza. I'm literally like so fixated on that picture. That really looks like a. Do you not think?
Yeah, I can see it.
I just feel like that. To me, that really looks like Eliza.
It's funny how people see different things, though,
I
isn't
know.
it? Like,
And do you know what? It's because she does that as well. She
Yeah.
puts her finger in her mouth like that.
you've definitely got that hair
know.
like that. Look, where it's going to go wispy at the sides like
It
that.
just, to me, that really looks like
Well,
Eliza.
this would have been Finn at the same age. Look at Finn, guys. Can you see him?
It's so blurry.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You can't really see that one very well. Look at Finn. Look at him there, though, on the walker. Don't know if you can see that one, guys. This is just sharing some photos because we're doing motherhood. So, you know, I thought I'd bring in some photos and just show you them. Oh, my God, though. That was him at 9 months. But look at that one of you. You actually look quite similar.
Oh, yeah, we do. We look very similar.
Yeah, because that's
like
Finn.
I literally look like the girl version
Yeah.
of Finn, if you know what I mean.
And I'll tell you why I know that, because that was our honeymoon bed. And Finn was 9 months when we got married. Oh, my God, Finn was Elsie and Eliza's age when me and Dad got married.
But look how big we both look at 9 months compared to the girls.
I know. So that's Finn and that's Charlie at 9 months.
We look
You
exactly
actually look so similar.
But like I look like I'm a girl and he looks like he's a boy, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But we look like.
Really similar, that, actually.
It's funny.
It's only now when I'm putting it together that I'm sort of seeing
And
that.
hasn't he got a Winnie the Pooh?
I don't know what he's
No,
wearing.
there's Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, well, we won't show that one. Look at that one. Oh, look, I had to get Callum in, though, because that was Callum.
That's my Jessica.
Yeah, look, there's Jessica. Look how bright pink she
Do you
was.
wanna see? Look, let's show.
And guys, this was, so we wanted Callum to like have the same. Look, oh my goodness. And that would have been Jessica 18 years ago, because obviously Callum's just turned 18. Oh, this is one of my favourite photos of Charlie. I love it. Like, look, it's even got the date on it. That was Charlie at 6 months. That dress was so lovely, honestly. And look, Charlie sucked her thumb, guys. So yeah, Charlie sucked her thumb. Now, you know, like when people say about dummies and sucking thumbs and things like that, I don't think there's a right or wrong to any of it, really, because if people have dummies, then you can get rid of dummies. But if they have a thumb, then you can't get rid of a thumb. So, and then people are like, oh, yeah, but their teeth will stick out if you let them do that. Well, Charlie's teeth never stuck out, and she literally sucked her thumb.
I'd suck
and
my
still
thumb until I was
sucks
12.
her thumb.
Yeah.
So, what about this one? Can we see that? Oh, my goodness, Charles. What do you reckon?
I just see Eliza.
Yeah,
I don't
do
see
you?
Elsie. I just see Eliza.
Really?
Yeah. I used to see Elsie when Elsie was little, but now I just see Eliza.
So you must have been about 10 months then, because you're like sitting up, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I actually remember that Hoover.
Oh, yeah, the Dyson.
Yeah, I actually remember
Yeah.
that Hoover.
Going to now we're going to go on to, because obviously we're not just going to share loads of photos, but as we're looking at photos, it reminds me of things. So motherhood, okay, I'm going to tell you what I found the toughest thing in motherhood, and I really, really found this tough, and that was my kids going to school. I really hated it. Like, every child ruined the experience for me. And it is true. Honestly, I actually can't stand schools. And it's because all my children misbehaved at school. And I don't know why, they just did.
Because it was awful.
But they just did. I mean, to be fair, you were okay in first school. Like, you got on all right at that first school. You were okay. And you were all right through middle school a bit. Obviously, when you went to secondary school was when you really started to struggle. But I do think that when girls hit that sort of, you know, age anyway, there's a lot of things going on. So it's a difficult age. But Finn was terrible at school, full stop. Like, when did Finn ever finish school on time? Like,
Never.
he had a detention every single day of his
literally.
life. And Callum was probably the first child to ever get expelled from a middle school. So, So yeah, my experiences with schools has not been good, and I think it's a real struggle if you do have children that don't fit into that mainstream way of school life, to be fair.
Yeah, school was awful. That was not for me.
No, but I don't feel like it was for any of you, which was a real shame, because I really wanted just one of you to have enjoyed, because I loved school. Like, I loved school. So I really wanted, like, just one of you to have enjoyed school. But none of them did, guys. Like, Finn will say he loved it. He loved the social side of it. Like, that was why that just reminded me, because that was Finn going off for his first day at preschool. And don't get me wrong, he loved it for, like, having friends. And Finn saw it as a social circle, I suppose, didn't he? Which I think a lot of people do.
What about when you sent me to that nursery and they tried to call me a different name?
I know. So Charlie, we went to a nursery, and I went to pick her up, and on her peg it had Charlotte, and I was like, why is it Charlotte? My daughter's called Charlie. And they were like, oh, well, we have another Charlie, so we're calling her Charlotte. And I'm like, but that's not actually her name. And they were like, oh, yeah, but it'll make it easier for us if we call her that. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but that's not actually her name. So she never went back there again. I wasn't having that.
No way.
Just because somebody else was called Charlie.
No, but that's like not even my name.
Exactly.
Like, that would just confuse me.
Yeah, I know. So, no. So, yeah, I suppose even back then, I don't know. I mean, that could be a whole different podcast talking about schools.
Definitely.
I mean, honestly,
that could take up a whole
I could probably
podcast.
I reckon actually we could cover a lot because I feel like we know a lot about schools, how they work, if you don't get on well, what other options there are for you.
I feel like that'd be a really good podcast, especially for, I don't know, a parent out there
who's really struggling
with their kid going to school and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be a really good podcast to help people out, because there is so many other options.
There are options that
you
we
don't know.
never knew about.
No. You wouldn't really ever know about. We just
no, exactly. So I think we could probably cover that in a different one.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's something we should definitely cover, because obviously there will be people out there who are the same, whose children really are struggling at school, and it's just really not for them. And I feel like it would be good for them to know that there is other options that they can go for.
Yeah, exactly. Now so going back to like being a mum, like that was what I always wanted to be. And
me too. Me
like,
too.
There was nothing else. Like, me and Char will both agree, apart from now because you do your social media.
Yeah.
But we weren't career people.
No.
Like, I feel like, if you've got a career, that's amazing. I would love to have been that sort of person who would have wanted to have done something. But all I ever wanted to be was a mummy. Like, that's just what I always wanted to be. So I always wanted 3 children. I always wanted 3. So that was always the idea anyway. You're not... Well, you've said 2.
Yeah, we've always said 2.
But you're still very young to, I think, make that final decision.
I feel like it is such a hard decision, because when you're thinking about how many children you do want, you've got to kind of weigh out like how expensive it's going to be, like what adaptations you'd have to make. Like, we'd actually have to move house. We'd probably have to get a whole new car. Like, and also we probably wouldn't be able to do half as much of stuff that we do.
No.
So then you kind of like have to weigh out, like, would you rather, make sure that your girls have the best life, or add another baby into the mix? Like, it is a really hard decision.
You have to sort of think to yourself, why am I doing that? Why would I be adding another child in? What is that child going to benefit me? Apart from loving them, like, what else am I going to gain from having another child? It depends what you want with your life. I wasn't really into doing the holidays and stuff like you already are.
But yeah, we really are. So that's why, like, me and Reese obviously are still very unsure because we are very young. But I feel like most of us is like, no, we're done with 2, because the girls are so perfect.
Yeah.
We can take them on loads of adventures. Like, I want to make sure the girls have the best life growing up.
Yeah.
So like,
and get to see lots of things.
At this point in time, then we don't want any more children. But like, obviously in the future that could always change, because we are only 20. But at this point in time, I want to show my girls the world, and
So motherhood is that's what I mean. So it's is it what were we actually saying? What was I even saying leading up to that part of it? I can't remember now.
Oh yeah, you said that you always wanted to be a mum.
Yeah,
there was no career that you really wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I always wanted 3 children, and at the sort of ages that I had my kids, to be honest with you. So, it was nice, and I didn't have many friends at first when I had Charlie and Finn to start off with, and I actually got very depressed, to be honest with you. I lived in another house, and it was a bit further away from my mum being able to visit me and stuff, and I didn't really have anybody. So I did lead. So which house was it? It wasn't obviously that house. I'm going to see if I can see.
What house is
I think I've
this?
got a picture of the house. No, that was the house we're in now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where?
That was in the back bedroom, Finn's bedroom. But I'm going to show you. Actually, I don't know if I've even got a picture of us in the house there. Oh, look at that one though. Yeah. So anyway,
To me, that's Eliza. Elsie.
Really. So look, guys.
That's Elsie.
That's Finn. And he was probably about 12 months. I don't know, really. It's hard to remember. Has it got the date? I don't know now. Do you see that? Yeah. So look at the hair.
I think it's just that ear, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. How many of you did I make you on?
So no, I don't even think it's a picture of the house. Oh, look. Again, that one with the face. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was very depressed, actually, if I'm being honest now, when I look back, when I had Finn and Charlie, because I didn't really have anywhere. I didn't really like where I was living, to be honest with you. I knew I needed to head back to where...
Why did you live there, then?
Affordability at the time, because we were buying places.
Oh.
And we couldn't afford to live back where we are now.
Oh, okay.
Because they didn't, if you think about it, have many one-bedroom flats or two-bedroom houses. There wasn't that option. So for us to go up the ladder at the time, we had to move like different places, and I wasn't happy. And now I look back, I actually was quite depressed, I think, to be honest. I decided to spend lots of money and I got into trouble. So a bit of postnatal depression, really. But it's, there's nothing shameful about that. But because I come from a family that was always very much, you didn't really say things like that. I kept it a secret. So, but they were tough times. They were very tough times. It was only when I moved back to where I am now that I started to feel happier. And then obviously I had Callum, and we made a nice group of school friends, didn't we?
We used to always do loads of stuff.
We did loads. So I had like a group of like other mums.
Yeah.
And my aim was, through my kids' like lives of that part, if they were going to school, then it was important they had friends around for tea, and we did lots of social things.
Yeah, we did so many fun things, many fun things.
And it was, when I look back, it was really fun times.
It was really, really fun.
It was really fun times. We had some good times and lots of memories. But, so those sort of times were nice. But I don't know, like, I still struggled though, guys. Like, I still found motherhood quite harder than I thought, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I always thought I should have been happier than what I was, like how I felt. But, it's how it is. But the teenage years are the hardest, and that's for sure.
Do you know what, right? That's one thing I'm not looking forward to, is the teenage years, because I know that when I was a teenager, so, yeah.
What you were like.
Yeah.
And I do think, and I could be completely wrong, guys, so you can comment down below, but I think girls are worse than boys through teenage years. I could be wrong. It could just be because my personal way of how I've had my children has ended up that way. But I do feel that because girls have all those horrible things that Charlie doesn't ever like to talk about, hormones and periods... I do think it messes up girls' minds.
But my teenage years, I just feel like they weren't very good.
No. And I don't even know if I really think I was that good to my mum and dad when I was a teenager, really, not compared to my brother anyway. So I don't know, they were tough years. Be prepared if you haven't got teenage kids now. They are tough.
Good luck.
They are really, really tough. And I don't know how I got through them, really, if I'm being honest. I don't know how I got through them. Because, they're difficult. Very, very difficult times. Attitudes and thinking you know best. And
that's every teenager, though. Every teenager will always think that they know best.
And it really does come down to the crowds that they hang around in.
That
it
100%.
really does.
Yeah, that really rubs off on them, definitely.
Yeah, it does, and so it's tough being a mum, but it still becomes tough. So even once your kids have got out of those really tough teenage years, is then you then start new worries, like when they turn 18 and they're going out drinking and to clubs, or when they first pass their driving test. So once again, Callum's just passed, so I'm back again to that whole worry of a new person freshly driving. And we better stop for a minute, guys. Well, anyway, we had to go off for a minute there. So
because the girls
woke up. So we were thinking, though, we don't want to talk too much about motherhood now because, you may be getting bored listening to us, or we're going on too much about it.
Yeah, and also because we're only aiming for our podcast to be between about 20 to 30 minutes, because I feel like when I watch a podcast that's over 30 minutes, I then switch it off because it gets boring.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 30 minutes sort of max, which is what this is going to sort of be.
Yeah.
But we want you to know, like, would you like to hear a part 2 about motherhood? Because obviously we haven't covered, like, half of motherhood.
I know, there's
and
so
half
much to do with motherhood.
Everything. I mean, I want to generally summarise up the end of this podcast by saying that being a mum is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, me too.
And I feel the most fortunate person in the world to have been able to have been pregnant 3 times, to have given birth, and to have experienced being a mum, because nothing beats being a mum. Do you agree, Char?
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing beats it. I mean, my love for my mum as well, your love for me, your love for the girls. Like, just motherhood's the best.
That's what I'm looking at, by the way, guys. Every time I've looked over there in the podcast, I'm watching the girls.
Just being a mum is the best thing ever. And I'm glad
100%.
that I chose that. Oh, one other thing before we go, because I saw this on Charlie's TikTok and a few people don't agree. Being a mum is a job.
100%.
And I don't care what anybody says.
Being a mum is a job.
Being a mum is a job.
And people, the thing is as well, like, people will twist it and be like, you're making up that you don't like being a parent. There's no one's ever said that. It is, the fact is that it is a job. I enjoy being a mum. I wouldn't change it for a world, but it's harder than a job.
And I know that it is, because I work in a clinic where pregnant mums come in and their occupation actually says full-time mum. It is a job.
It is a job. It's harder
It's
than a job.
It's like with any job. There are loads of ups and downs in any job that you do. And like you say, it doesn't mean that it's a chore or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is a job.
It's a job.
And it is a tough job. And it comes with lots of tears, but lots of laughter as well.
Yeah.
And it is a wonderful thing to be.
And it's a job.
Yeah, and it's a job.
It's harder than a job.
Yeah,
you don't get a break. You don't like.
No, you don't.
You don't get any, like, you're just a mum 24/7 a day.
All the time. So yeah, I did just want to say that. But I really hope that you have enjoyed us talking about motherhood. As I say, we could ramble on.
Yeah, there's so much to cover
about motherhood. It's such a big subject.
Yeah. But for our next podcast, we are going to get you guys to send in your funny like situations that's kind of happened to you as a mum. It doesn't even have to be funny. It could be like, I don't know, do you think funny?
Do you think as what? Situations of what though? We're covering a whole subject? Or
like just anything to do with motherhood. So like a
motherhood.
Funny, yeah, motherhood, like a funny or like funny situation that obviously wasn't funny at the time or was funny at the time sort of situation that's happened to you as a mum that your like child has done sort of thing.
Yeah. So something like that.
But I'll make a box. So basically, what I'll do is I'll make a box. So the day after this goes up, I'm going to make a box on my Instagram and just put your questions in there, or even just DM them to me, and then we'll do our reaction to them next podcast in 2 weeks' time. So every other week.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. So guys, if you could hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying the podcast.
And remember, guys, this is all new to us. So, you know, the more we get into it,
the better they'll get. The better they will get.
Exactly.
The further you get on. Obviously, this is us starting out. But the further we get through our podcast, the more response we have, the better it'll get.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.